Hi guys, come to you for another Steam review. Today I want to look at the new Rob Zombie film 31, which basically follows these bunch of carnival workers who are like just going across country to another circus, and suddenly they get abducted by these like weird, just really posh people who capture them and just put them in like these weird machines, and they have a load of like different contraptions, and like it's basically a massive maze. And at times it does feel like because it's based in the 70s, and at times it does feel like Rob Zombie is just like literally copying of other films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like Halloween, and just a lot of like the old 70s horror films. But it seems like he's like just copying them, and it just seems like how he like just like presents the characters. There's literal like shot for shot. Like towards the end, there's like literal just he copies Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how it sort of ends with the woman going in the car like covered in blood, like because you have Rob Zombie's wife playing the main actress, who at the end is like literally drenched in this blood. And overall, I really did like the film. I really liked I love the main villain. The first time you see him, in the first 5 minutes of the film, is my favourite, when it's all in black and white and it just looks really creepy and dark, and where you don't actually see his blood like dripping down on his face. It just looks like weird makeup. Because on the first 5 minutes you just have this guy sitting in a chair smothered in blood, and just like this guy is about to get killed. He gets killed by basically this character that Rob Zombie's made up. Like it's not really the most unique character. It resembles a lot like the Joker, basically the DC Joker, and sadly that's a lot of like its flaws in the film. That it does like seem like it just nitpicks of like takes snippets of like other films and just like sews it all together and like makes it into like a really enjoyable just roller coaster of a film. Like I like to describe it as like a haunted house. Like you go through it and you're there for the experience. You're there for the high amount of like gore and guts and like just disgusting things you're gonna see in there. Because like the things Rob Zombie sort of does, they're there to like shock you, and they're there to have a good time, and they're like very obvious, like because he has these massive set pieces of like there's this one on the first trap. You have this Nazi like midget, and he's like running around as like Adolf Hitler, and he's like his main, as I was saying, I just love the designs of like the sets. Like you have this Nazi sort of like just massive like bandanas coming down the sides, and it's amazing to see. And it's sort of like, you sort of know Rob Zombie is just setting all this up to shock you, like just to make you feel to shock you. Like they're not really there to like sort of, I guess they are there to like make the characters it's the main problem with the film. You don't feel like the characters are a bit like developed enough, because first you have like this Jamaican guy who is like, at times he just falls flat on his Jamaican accent. It just like fails, and you have the rest of them literally just become like hillbillies. Like the main one of the main guys literally had just like the full-on mutton chops like beard and just crazy long hair, and they're not really that nice people. Really have like this they just accept it, like they just accept like killing each other, and it's a bit like, don't really get to know the characters that much, and that really like harms the film, because you don't really get to see or feel anything for the characters. because you don't really care for them. Like, so when they're getting killed, you just don't really care that much. And just like it just disengages you because you don't end up being like engaged enough to actually like care or react to them. So yeah, overall I thought the acting is like, it's alright. It's not too bad. It's not like Oscar worthy, but it's like a horror film, so it's not going to be the best anyway. Yeah, overall I thought the sets and like actual like aesthetics and like how I love the intro, like how Rob Zombie's like sort of directs it, sort of like in how he sort of does this freeze frame and it's like slides to like sort of comic book panel sort of style, how he like transitions from like scene to scene. It's like really cool to see. And sadly I did not like the acting, like the characters. I thought like some of the characters were interesting, like the Joker type character and the chainsaws, the one with chainsaws, the two clowns. Unfortunately I didn't think the most of the other characters were actually used quite well. They were like quite wasted, and sadly I'll probably give this probably a 2 out of 5, because it really, even though I didn't go into the film for like high expectations, I still sort of expected to have like a fun time, and sort of didn't, because it was sort of like very predictable and very by the books of like a Hunger Games sort of maze runner sort of horror film sort of style to it, and it sort of become really boring by the end. Yeah, comment below what you think me to review, and see you again on another Stu Reviews.